Hi, this is Bethany Thomas and I'm from Doula Care of Maryland. I'm here to show you a couple of comfort measures that will help during early labor as well as at the end of your pregnancy to try and help keep your joints and your muscles and your ligaments loose as your baby starts to drop and you prepare for a birth. Some of the things online that you can see are exercises that you can do which will help position the baby correctly in your pelvis for birth. During the early hours of labor, especially when you're in a hospital setting or at home, the exercise ball is provided and it's really wonderful and it's a great tool in order to use to try to get labor going and to kind of stimulate the uterus as well as get your contractions in a pattern and be able to help rotate the baby. A lot of times women have kind of different mechanisms for coping with labor, and as a contraction begins, you'll see some people start bouncing, moving, hanging over on the bed and things in order to try to cope with each contraction. What I find works best is that you actually help loosen the ligaments of the pelvis and keep things nice and loose and flexible during labor. We call this kind of the Doula Hula. You sit on your birth ball, you make sure your posture is as kind of straight as you can, and you sit there and you pretend that you're doing a hula hoop, and you'll rotate your hips through. This will help the baby rotate through the pelvis as the contractions happen, and as a wave begins and starts, you can go ahead and start to rotate and do the hula. The other mechanism that helps and the exercise that helps is a figure 8, and you can kind of just think in your mind of the 8 and cope on that. Use that as a coping mechanism throughout labor. Close your eyes and envision the 8 and breathe deeply as each wave hits. This will help as it intensifies as well as it's keeping your pelvis moving and rotating, which is what we need in order for the baby to also move and maneuver through the pelvis. Because of being on this ball and being comfortable and sitting in a position where people can have access to your back, counter pressure methods work really well when you're on a ball. You're available in order to lean over onto a bed. You can kind of prop up pillows. I could turn towards the couch, put a lot of pillows onto the couch, and lean over as a partner would press on my back. I'm going to show you later on how to do the methods for counter pressure directly in the back for where the ligaments line up, and when a wave starts, the uterus will put pressure on that area. So it doesn't really do anything when you think of the mechanics of labor to have someone sit and put pressure on those points, but what it does is help you cope better, help you feel better by confusing kind of the pain stimulus and the things that are aching and pulling to have those muscles relaxed and also kind of massaged during labor. So counter pressure is super important. So we'll go through a couple of those methods in the next couple of videos. But the one thing you can do towards the end of pregnancy is if you're watching a show, if you're sitting there and talking with your partner, if you're sitting at your desk working right now, doing the figure 8s and the Doula Hulas will really help in order to loosen up the joints that otherwise might get tight during pregnancy. So stay tuned.